Welcome to Be Still and Know. My name is Adam, and today we're going to be talking about something that is actually pretty surprising to me to be talking about right now. I was recently going through my computer and looking for some files that I wanted to move around, and I found an old document that I actually made about 3 years ago when I was teaching 5th grade. And I wanted to make this document and this lesson for my 5th graders as a way for them to I guess it's a kind of spiritual teaching. This is something that I, again, wanted to teach them but never could because I could just never find the time in the day for it. Public school is meant to brainwash kids, and it's meant to basically distract them from things that really matter in life, and to teach them how to be complacent and to live in a system where their creativity is stifled. And so it's not surprising that this lesson never found its way to my students. But when I found the document, I realized that I still had to use this lesson and share it with the world through YouTube. And so I'm going to be doing this lesson today, which is called How to Become a Master. And what is a master? When I talk about a master, I'm talking about somebody that has mastered themselves. They have mastered their emotions, and they have mastered their body, they've mastered their mind. And so what we're going to talk about today is a spiritual matter, which is how to become a master. And there's 3 major ways that I've kind of broken down. And these are just ways that I have back then, and then I added a little bit to it recently. These are ways that I have found that you can really start to work on yourself so that you can too become a master. Some background on what I'm talking about. In the 1950s, there was a man named George King who basically had a vision where he was contacted by what he called an extraterrestrial intelligence. And I know I'm already sounding crazy to you, and I'm already sounding like, wow, he's really out there. How do you go from talking about health to talking about extraterrestrials and things like that? Well, the name of this man was George Scott, and George King, and he ended up starting the Theoria Society. And through that society, they have actually put out a lot of teachings where they're trying to raise the vibration of mankind for the coming new age, the golden age on Earth. So the theory behind it, the basics of it, are that our planet is currently, well, first of all, let's go back to the basics. Our planet is not just a rock in space. It's not just a physical material. Our planet actually has energy and a soul, and that's what they call the Mother Earth, the Gaia goddess. And so this planet, Earth, has for a long time lived at a lower vibrational level. And that was partly because the people, the creatures on it, were existing at a lower vibrational level. And when I talk about vibrations, I'm talking about how people are. Okay, I just realized talking about this that there's a lot of things that I have to explain to you, but the basics that I'm talking about, I guess, for vibrations would be that in this universe, in this creation, sound is actually and light are actually what drives our creation. It's what drives matter. Scientists have started to allude to that in their discoveries, but they haven't quite gotten there. But basically, sound and light are what really drives us and drives creation and drives everything to kind of move and to exist. And that's why when they said in the Bible, "Let there be light," God spoke, and it was so. 2 things happened. You know, He used vibration to create things, and then the light happened. So without vibration, there could be no light. And so basically, these humans, or these creatures that we've been for the past thousands of years, have been existing at a level that is not really a high vibrational level. It's not a level where spiritually we're very advanced. That's why we have a lot of ignorance and a lot of negative karma and emotions on this planet. But planet Earth, the goddess herself, is starting to ascend to a higher vibrational level. She's tired of being at this low vibrational level. And so, in order for her to ascend, she has to basically shake off the lower vibrations. But Mother Earth is a beautiful mother, and she doesn't want to just throw all her creatures off, because what would happen if she decided to just ascend quickly and go into a higher vibration, into a new age, is that a lot of humans that are existing at a lower level, some world leaders that you probably see in the news all the time, and many other people would not be able to handle that shift to a higher vibrational level. And so what she's doing through contacting humans and through contacting other higher spirits and higher energies out there is trying to gently nudge mankind along so that we start to raise our own vibrations. But we have to do so out of our own free will. And in order for us to do that, we have to help each other, because the best way to cast out darkness is to shine light. And so that's another reason why I wanted to start this channel, is to shine light and to start helping more and more people to raise their vibrational level. So I'm not claiming to be a master or an ascended master or a high spiritual guru or a yogi or anything like that. What I'm claiming to be is someone that has studied things like this, that is attempting to raise their own vibration. I'm trying to get better as I go. I'm trying to become a higher being and to raise my consciousness level as well. And so I want to just share some of the things that I do and that I've learned about that can help you do that, and do it in a much quicker way, so it doesn't take thousands of years for our species to ascend or to evolve, but hopefully it takes a shorter time than that. So the first thing that we're going to talk about on how to become a master or ascended master. And what is an ascended master? An ascended master is a being who is either a former human, or maybe they're a cosmic being, they're from another planet, that has a very high vibrational level. They are existing at a plane that is different than ours. Basically, the description that I've read about ascended masters is that they are basically gods, that they have very high psychic abilities, that they have the ability to affect matter with just their minds. Things like cutting a mountain in half with their minds. They can fly, they can go through space and time, they see different dimensions, they're powerful, and some examples of these would be they claim that Jesus Christ was one of the ascended masters, and that the Christ energy, that energy of love and compassion and caring, really shone through him, and that's why he came to earth, was to show us, or to spread that light and that love through mankind in order for us to ascend a little bit. And overall, even though Christianity has had a lot of things that have been negative about it, overall Christianity throughout the world has been able to spread very quickly, and also to the message of Christ, of humility, of service, of compassion, of love, of sacrifice. Those attributes that he had as a person have been able to transform and soften the heart of even the hardest individuals throughout history. And so the idea of Christ as a being and a person is what I follow. I'm a follower of Christ and his message and who he was, because I want to be like he was. I don't want to put on a high hat, or get on my high horse and put on my hat and start judging everybody. That's not what I believe in. But I do believe that the life and the parable of who Christ was is a very good example of how to live as a human being, and a good way to raise your vibration as well. If you just not try to be Jesus, but try to be like he was with other people, and to kind of lift each other up the way he did instead of tearing each other down. Okay, so that's kind of some background. Now here's what the steps are. The steps that I've broken down through my learning and my own. This is not online anywhere. Some of these ideas are online, but this is what I have decided that my lesson will be about. And remember, it was made for 5th graders. So so some of the images you're going to be like, oh, it's for kids. No, it's not for kids. These are very that's just the thing, is that my 5th graders and a lot of the kids that I've had, students that I've had when I was a teacher, were super advanced spiritually and super advanced on a karmic level that you don't see or you didn't see in a lot of previous generations. And so I felt like this is a lesson that would be perfect for them, that they can handle this, that the new children being born nowadays, most of them are at a higher level. And that's why you see kids like Greta Thunberg from Sweden chastising the UN and yelling at us about climate change and to fix our act, because kids these days, they come out already a little bit higher of a level, because they are meant to be the generation that's supposed to usher in and help mankind to evolve and to get higher in our vibrations. And so I made this for kids, but kids I think could handle this and grasp this very well. Okay, so the first thing that the first, I guess, bullet point or step that you have to do to become a master is to master yourself. Okay, and that starts with, what do we have as ourself? Our body. All right. So physical and mental awareness is the first number that I have here. And some of the things for physical and mental awareness that you can do to help you to become a master are to work on your emotional elevator. Your emotional elevator is the scale from, say this is the ground level and this is the top of the building. Okay, when you get upset, okay, you're starting at a level 0 when you're not upset at all, and then when you're upset you're at a level 10. Okay, this is another mental technique that I learned from schools, but is very important to know and to have mastered if you want to get to another level. And that is, how can I regulate my emotional elevator? If something sets me off and I start to get upset about something and my elevator starts to rise, how can I start to bring it down? What are some mental techniques that I can do to bring it back down before it gets to level 8? Because once you're at a level 8, 9 and 10 are almost impossible to come down from without having some kind of outburst. So you want to get to at least level 8 before, only to level 8, and then try to drop yourself before you get any higher, because then it's going to be a lot harder to calm down. So how do we get to level 8 and then start to bring ourselves down? Or how do we get to level 5 even and start to bring ourselves down? Well, there's mental techniques that you can do. Breathing, using trigger words, taking a break, taking a drink of water, counting back from 10. One thing that I do now is I've used the word transmute. Transmute means to change something from one substance to another, kind of like in alchemy. They use that word a lot. And so I use, whenever I start to get upset now, or start to get frustrated, or start to have anxiety or fear or any negative emotion that I don't want to raise myself on the elevator, I just say the word transmute. Transmute. And it's like I'm a superhero and I'm flying away from this situation and I'm transmuting or changing that emotion or that energy that's being created in me into a different emotion or a different energy or a different thought. And so when I'm starting to get upset about something, and a lot of the times recently it's been finances, I'll just say transmute, and then I'll just bring that joy and that passion back into my life. And I change my attitude around so that I'm not dwelling in these negative vibrations that start to spiral me down, but I'm transmuting my emotions so that I start to rise back up again, okay, to a higher vibration. And that's one way that I stop myself from going too high on my emotional elevator or sinking too low into my vibrations, into low vibrations. So I'll say that. So your emotional elevator is one thing that you really need to learn how to regulate, and you need to find your own technique that works for you, whether it's breathing or meditating or whatever it is. You need to find something that's going to help you to transmute your energy and change it and regulate yourself, so that you're not losing your emotions, losing control of your emotions all the time, getting super upset and crying, or super angry and blowing up. It's okay to get super happy, but what I'm talking about are the emotions that bring you down in vibration. You want to learn how to regulate those. All right, and one way that you can, it'll be much easier to regulate your emotions is when your health, when your physical health and nutrition are great. Okay, are on par. I don't know golf terms, but when you have your nutrition down, that's another way that you're going to be able to regulate your emotional elevator. So nutrition and health, those are another way that your physical body will be able to respond to your emotional self better. So make sure that you're not only stopping all the bad junk that you've been eating, or that you eat now, or that you used to eat, but also adding in the good stuff, adding in the electrical foods, the sun-kissed foods, the things that are created when the sun touched the earth. Okay, things like fruits and vegetables. Get a lot of those into your body, because they have electrical components in them that actually charge your body, not just by giving you like a good satisfied feeling in your stomach, not just by giving you energy, but also by transferring their energy into you, so that you can then transmute that into clear thinking, okay, into mental energy. Not just physical, not just running, not, eating vegetables and things like that will definitely boost your physical energy, where you feel like I can run a mile or I can run a marathon. But the mental energy, having those in your body will also help your mental focus and help you to regulate your emotions better. I realize that when I do a celery juice every morning, it automatically wakes me up and makes me feel super focused in the morning. And so doing that, making sure that your nutrition's good, that your health is good, that you exercise and sweat and get toxins out of your body regularly. It doesn't have to be every day, but it has to be at least a couple times a week that you're sweating really hard and releasing all your toxins. And definitely eating well at least hopefully 5 days a week, 5 to 7, and when I say eating well, I mean eating just enough that your body needs and not too much. You can't overload your gas tank, okay? You can't put too much stuff in there. I think of it like a wood chipper. If you stick a whole freaking giant log in the wood chipper, you're gonna jam it. Alright, same thing with all the junk food that you eat. A bunch of bread and things that starch up in your stomach and expand and are hard to digest. A bunch of sugar that doesn't process through your body right. Those cause mucus in your body, cause you to get sick. Just eating well most of the week. It's okay to have a cheat day maybe once a week, but when I'm talking about cheating, I'm talking about maybe eating a little bit more than you usually eat. And maybe eating one junk food meal for a week, and not a whole day's worth of eating out or whatever. Just one meal. What I like to do is, since I work hard physically. I work a labor job in the marijuana industry. I like to treat myself. Once a week I'll get one thing that reminds me of what I used to eat, which is sometimes pizza. Okay, I used to eat the crappiest Little Caesars and Pizza Hut and all those really bad fast food pizza chains. And now, instead of doing that, I'll still have pizza because I love pizza, but I will order it from a place that has more, I guess, fresh ingredients, things that are not as processed or as canned. So I'll order from a place that does brick oven pizza, thin crust, okay, but then I'll add things on there like broccolini, okay, little pieces of broccoli and onions, which are great to help alkalize your body. I will still put on pepperoni because that's the one thing about pizza that I've always loved is the pepperoni. Even though I know that pepperoni and other processed meats can cause cancer. Okay, that's something I've learned lately, but that's my cheat day. Okay, I'm not gonna keep that away from myself just because I know that it's bad, but I'm not gonna eat it every day. I'm not gonna have pizza all the time, nor even pizza every week, because that pizza, I'm gonna do a pizza maybe one cheat week a month, or cheat day a month, and I'll have, for my other cheat days, I'll have something else. So just things in small quantities that are terrible for you, you know, aren't going to be completely bad if you just keep it in a very small quantity. But I do realize now that I eat mostly healthy vegetables, cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, beans, onions, Brussels sprouts. Now that I'm eating mostly those kinds of food, when I do eat pizza or something that's highly acidic or starchy or has a lot of bread, because I try to cut out as much bread and starches as possible too, because I just don't believe in them. I don't think humans need them as much or at all. But I will basically, you know, try to have the best quality of ingredients. Alright, so that's nutrition. Do your best to eat healthy. I'm not saying go vegan, because I haven't even been able to do that. I'm just saying do your best. And for me, my best is eating good most of the week, eating smaller meals. An example of what I would eat in a day is I'd have a celery juice in the morning with my supplements. I'd have a snack that during my break time at work, which is usually around 10 now. They change. Now I have a new job. It's at 10. And it's usually something like a little, because I have a container that has 3 sections, and it's just one of the sections of nuts. I'll just have walnuts and pecans, and maybe a banana on top. That's one snack. And then my other snack will be an orange, or another thing that I've stuck in there in that section is grapes. And it's not very much. And then in the middle section is my little Tupperware of my lunch, which is sometimes baked vegetables or stir-fried vegetables, and maybe an egg on top for some protein. But that's it. Okay, and then I get home and I eat a small bowl of more vegetables, and maybe if I'm not being strict with myself that day, maybe a little bit of starches. It could be a piece of bread, or it could be a piece of chip, some chips in a little bowl or something. But it's going to be something that's a small quantity. Okay, I'm not going to be eating a big old sandwich with 2 pieces of bread. I might have 1 piece of bread, you know, 1 piece of toast. So that's just reducing the amount that you take in, because you don't need that much. Humans never needed that much. That's why we were able to starve for so long and survive. And that's why we're able to store fat in the first place, so that we can get a little bit of fat and then not have to eat for a long time, like a week and a half or so. And you know, we're used to that. Humans were always used to that. Not eating very much and eating mostly from the land. So sun-kissed fruits and vegetables. So that's number 1. That's only number 1. And that's not, it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you put them all together, it's a complete lifestyle change. Okay, you're changing the way that you react to the world. So you're not reacting, you're responding with your emotional elevator. So you're saying, I'm not gonna let that person that's yelling at me on the road bring me up to a level 10. I'm not gonna let that energy bring me up. I'm gonna transmute that energy and turn it back into something great, baby. Bring myself back down to a 1 or a 0. And changing your diet. It doesn't seem like a lot, but when you actually do it day after day and put it together, it has vast differences in the way you look and how you feel. I lost 25 pounds and 4 inches off my waist so far. And I feel great, and I feel healthy, and I haven't gotten sick in a long time because I'm doing things that are adding to my physical health. So physical and mental awareness are the first way to become a master. You have to start with number 1, baby. What was given to you when you first were incarnated on this planet. The second thing is mental skills. Okay? Kind of going back to that emotional elevator. Skills that you can use to get through your day and to manifest and change things and change your world. the first thing that the first skill that I put on there for the kids, which is something that I try to embody, is persistence. Okay, persistence, grit, pushing forward in tough times, never giving up, always fighting, pushing ahead. Those are mental skills that you have to succeed in life, and also if you want to become a master and basically get anywhere in life, you have to have persistence. If you don't persist, life is basically an obstacle course. You're going to fall in the first obstacle and you're never going to get up again, and you're never going to go anywhere. And when you stop moving, you die. When you give up in life, you have no purpose or reason to be here anymore. So they take you out, whether you want to go or not. So if you want to keep living and have a long life, you can't just give up and just stay where you are. You always have to be moving forward. Have grit. Next is willpower. How do you have that grit? Well, you have to develop willpower, inner strength. You have to say, I'm not going to let the winds of life blow me around. I'm the captain of my ship, and I say where I'm going, and I'm going to have persistence, and I'm going to have inner strength and focus so that I can see my goals and I can get there. And I'm not going to just let anything distract me and get me off course. I'm going to have my eagle eye on what I want to get, or where I want to get to. The next thing is always have a winning attitude. All right, be positive. I'm not saying that you have to be always positive. You know, you can be real, but have a good attitude as much as possible. Feel like a winner. That's how you win things, is you have to visualize yourself winning. You have to feel like you're already a winner. You have to have gratitude in life. You have to be thankful for everything around you, for the ability to move, for the ability to breathe, for the ability to have a job, for the ability, everything. Everything in life you should be grateful for. Thank you for my family. Thank you for my house. Thank you for my pets. Thank you for whatever is close to you that you cherish in this world. Thank you for nature, Lord. You know, have a grateful attitude. Be humble. Have humility. Know that we never, while we're living on this earth, we're never going to be perfect, and we're never going to be completely to our goal. Even when we're 95, even when we're 120 years old, we're never going to be completely there. Okay, that's what life is the ascension, is the growth, is the learning curve. And we're never going to be done. It's always going to be constantly something there to do. So have humility and know that you're never going to be perfect. And be okay with that. Be okay with knowing that you don't have to have all the answers. That life is just a big puzzle sometimes, and you just have to love it anyway. And when people, and humility doesn't mean that you don't have confidence in yourself or belief in yourself. It just means that you acknowledge that no matter how great I am as a person, we're all great together. You know, everybody is just as great as I am. No one is greater than anyone else. So just know that we're all wonderful, but that doesn't mean that you're more wonderful than anyone else. That's humility. Okay, is knowing how great you are, but knowing also that it doesn't matter how great you are, you're never going to be greater than somebody else, because we all have equality in that way, is that we all have that inner greatness. Confidence, that's it. The next thing that kind of goes with humility. Be confident in your humility. When someone compliments you and says, oh, you did a great job today, you were a great worker, just say, thank you, I did my best, you know? That's it. Don't say, oh no, I could have done better, or oh, I didn't do that great. No. You know, I did my best. Thank you for seeing that, you know? But don't get a big head about it and say, oh, that means I'm the best worker. I'm definitely going to get a promotion around here, man. If they don't give me that promotion, I'm going to kick someone's ass. I'm going to get so mad. No, that is arrogance. That's ego. And you don't want to feed that wolf, okay? The next part of number 2 in mental skills is kindness. Okay, that's a mental skill. Having kindness and empathy, love, compassion, those are mental skills that we have to develop. And they come from the heart, from the mind of the heart, okay? Because the heart has a mind as well. And we have to learn how to release those into the world. Release our love. Don't hold it in. Release our kindness, our empathy. Don't hold them in. Let them go. Let them out whenever possible. Even if it feels like you're not doing enough, do what you can. The other day, homeless man asked me for money. Didn't have any cash or anything like that. Felt bad to give him change, but gave him change anyways. Okay? I felt embarrassed to give him change. But when he took the change, when he took the change, he didn't seem very grateful either. He was like, thanks. But, you know, that's all I had to give him. That was my kindness. That's all I could do. And I decided not to hold it in just because I was embarrassed. I gave it out. And guess what? Even though that guy was not that grateful and I felt embarrassed about it, that change is out there somewhere doing him some good or doing somebody some good. It's not just sitting in my car anymore. So let it out. Let your kindness out. Transmutation and alchemy. I talked a little bit about that before. Transmutation is changing something from one thing to another. And when I talk about transmutation and alchemy, it's not talking about changing lead to gold like they were trying to do in the early 1100s and all that. Back in the day, they were trying to change different metals into gold. I'm talking about changing the lead of our life, the energy lead, into golden energy. Okay, changing the lower vibrational energy into higher vibrational energy, and that is a mental skill, and that takes a lot of practice to do. And that's one thing that I want to share with people is how to do that kind of stuff. I use the word transmute, and that's how I do it. You got to find your own way to transmute your energy and transmute your negative vibrations into positive ones. And sometimes even other people's negative vibrations into positive ones, because people will bring you down, and they will be energy vampires, and they will suck you dry, and they'll take your energy, and they'll agitate you, and they'll try to bring you down. And you have to learn how to transmute that and to bring yourself back up, or sometimes to bring them up, because you can do that. The more powerful you get with this, the more you can affect the people around you. And that's another thing, is that when you're a master, you have an effect on people just walking into a room. Okay, self-control. Self-control is what I was talking about with mental and physical regulation, controlling your body, controlling your mind, controlling your emotions, and I'm not talking about suppressing. Okay, a lot of people think self-control is self-suppression, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about knowing when is the right time to speak and when is the right time to have silence. When is the right time to give advice and when is the right time not to. When is it okay to express this emotion or that emotion? Because all emotions are valid, but we have to express them in the right way. Can I control my words so that I say it in the right way? Can I be, what's that word that my grandma always says? Like a politician? Can I be, I don't know, there's a word that my grandma always says. You're very, sometimes you can be very, I'll think of it. It's probably going to come back to me soon. But, there's a word. I'll get back to it. I hate when that happens, when a word slips my mind like that. Okay. So self-control, okay? Make sure that you're very measured when you're talking and interacting with people and with the world and with the environment, with pets, everything. Abstain from negative temptations. If you know that you have a kryptonite, which is eating late at night, then make sure that you don't go to the kitchen late at night. If you have a kryptonite of women, make sure that you stop going to the places where you see those women. Stop going to the strip club, if that's your kryptonite. If your kryptonite is the computer, you're addicted to your computer or your phone, make sure that you have ways to get off your computer, have a lock on it, or something that shuts it off at a certain time, or do things that help you to avoid your negative temptations, because you don't want to be someone that can't avoid your negative temptations, because then you're never going to master yourself, and you're never going to become a master unless you can avoid your negative temptations. One of my negative temptations is eating late and sweets. Okay? So one thing that I do to abstain from my kryptonite is to drink apple cider vinegar, which helps to cut my appetite and cut the sugar cravings, okay, at night. And so that's one thing that I do to help me stay away from my negative temptations. Another one is the temptation in a relationship to bend over backwards for someone and never put up emotional barriers and put up not roadblocks, but just put up a fence around yourself, okay, and say, this is my fence, my personal fence, and I'm never gonna allow someone to break my fence down, and I'm never gonna bend over backwards for somebody and go against my own what is good for me, okay, because you should always come first, even in a relationship. It's always numero uno, baby. Before you can be in a pair, you have to be whole as yourself. So that's another one of my kryptonites, is bending over backwards for someone and being too emotionally available. And so I'm starting to abstain from those. And in the future, when I do get into another relationship, I'll hopefully have a more flowing, toroidal, non-toxic relationship, so that it doesn't become something where we become a codependent relationship, because I don't want that anymore. I want to be a free-flowing and very balanced, harmonious relationship. So that's one thing that I'm going to avoid in the future. Honesty and integrity. The mental skills of honesty and integrity are things that sometimes it's just innate. Some people are born with more honesty and integrity than others. Some people have to really work on building this emotional skill and building this value within themselves of why should I, it's so easy to lie. It's so easy to fool people, to get things out of people, to manipulate. So why should we tell the truth? Why should we be honest when it seems like it's not self-serving for us? If it's going to get us in trouble or something negative is going to happen to us in the short term, why should we be honest and have integrity? Okay? Well, the simple answer is it's always just better to be honest. You don't get caught up in lies that way. Another answer could be it's what helps your vibration to raise, okay, if you are honest. And a third would be people deserve the truth. It doesn't matter if they're not good people or not. It doesn't matter if they're not nice. People deserve the truth. Alright? Truth should always be golden in your mind and in your heart. And people also deserve for you to follow through with your word. If you say you're going to do something, then you do it. I have a quote hanging on my wall by the philosopher Seneca that says, "Nothing deters a good man from doing what is honorable." It means nothing can stop me from doing what's right. Okay? Nothing. Even something that's going to hurt me is not going to stop me from doing what's right. If I have to stay late and do it longer, if I have to fix something that got broken, if I have to be inconvenienced or feel uncomfortable, if I said I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I'm going to follow through. One example recently, I just gave my notice at a job. I only wanted to stay. I didn't like the work at this job. I liked the job, I liked the people there, but I didn't like the actual daily tasks. It just was too much. It was annoying. Okay, it was physical work. It was a lot of stuff that's like, you could streamline this and make this so much better if you had a few machines and just put a few more extra dollars into your warehouse or whatever. And so it annoyed me to be there. And so when I quit, I said, you know, man, I can give you a week if you want, or I can just finish out the week. And this was like on a Wednesday. I said I could just come out in on Thursday and Friday, and that's it if you want. Or I can give you a week notice, or what would you like? And I said, I asked him, what would you like? And of course, he was like, well, if you could give me 2 weeks, I would really appreciate it, because that would really help me out. And and so I said, okay. And I agreed to it, because I liked that manager. He was a great guy. And so I agreed. And I said, okay, I'll give you 2 weeks. Man, it was very mentally hard to get up for those last 2 weeks and do that job and to be there with a good attitude. But I said I was going to do it. And if I said I was going to do it, then nothing will deter me or stop me from doing what I said I was going to do, which was give him at least a 2-week notice and come in every day. It was really hard. But on the Friday, when my last day was that I was there, I went up to him and I was telling him goodbye, and because they locked me out of the system, I couldn't clock in that day. And so he was punching in my times for that day, and he goes, "Oh, I see that you weren't here last Friday." He's like, "Thanks so much, man, for being here for us and everything." He's like, "I know you weren't here last Friday, but I'm going to put that day in like you were here. I'm going to give you those hours." So he actually gave me an extra day of work. So even though it was hard to get there and it was hard to get up and to do the work, it turned out that I got a benefit from it. You know, when you do your best in life, sometimes things just work out for the best. And it seems like I didn't have to work as hard as I thought I would, because I took one day off on the Friday before I left, because I was just like mentally just needed a break. I needed a day, so I took the day off as a sick day. Of course everybody thought I quit, but then I came back. They were like, "Oh shit, we already played another One Bites of Dust and everything." But it turns out that I didn't have to be there anyways, because that guy just gave me the hours. So always have integrity, always have honesty. That's another way to become a master. All right, let's go to the last bullet point, or the last number, which is regeneration. Okay, you have to have physical and mental awareness. You have to have mental skills, but you also have to be able to regenerate whenever you start to wear down. We are machines, after all. And so we are going to wear down physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. We're going to start to corrode and to get, over time, get worn out. And so we have to regenerate. We have to learn ways to do that. Now, staying physically fit, and having good nutrition is one way to keep yourself from wearing down as fast, but you still have to have a way to regenerate. So, one way that you can regenerate, okay, beginner's mind. All right? Beginner's mind is where you go into everything knowing that you're a beginner. Okay? Even if you're not a beginner, you could be an expert at what you do. Maybe it's your job that you work at. You're an expert at your job because you've already been there, however long you've been there. But going every day to your job with a beginner's mind means it's like it's your first day again. It's like you're brand new. And so that's basically going to keep you fresh. You're going to feel like it's not a task or a chore. It's going to feel like you enjoy to be there. Even if you might be a little sick of that job, with a beginner's mind, you might see something different that you never saw before. You might learn something new about your job that you never thought you would not know, that you never thought you'd be learning at this stage in your job or whatever, or in your life or in your family. But having a beginner's mind wherever you go will help you to have that childlike awe and wonder with life that will keep you regenerating over and over again and keep you with a fresh perspective. Having a healing mentality when you're sick or when you're worn down, having the mentality that you are healing yourself from within is a good way to regenerate yourself. Knowing that I don't have to stay broken down. I can regenerate and get better. I can fix myself. I don't have to be sick all the time. I don't have to be hurt all the time. I can heal, okay? Another thing for regeneration is faith, okay? Having faith doesn't mean that you believe in one God or another. Having faith means that you have a belief deep down in your soul and inside of you that things will get better, that life is improving, that you have power to change your destiny. Having faith means that you know deep down that it doesn't matter how bad the world looks, things are getting better. And if I just stick with it, I'll get better. And my life will turn around. That's faith. That's real faith. Okay, that's the faith that you hear of the people from the Bible having. People like Abraham and Sarah. They didn't see a child for 99 years. And then eventually they stopped, thinking that they would have a kid. And when they heard an angel tell them that they would, Sarah laughed. And so they called the kid Isaac. I think it means laughter in Hebrew. And so they were starting to lose their faith. And it was only through Abraham's faith, his strong faith, that they were able to have that kid so late in life. Joseph was sold into slavery by his brothers. Was thrown into prison being falsely accused of touching someone's wife. But while he was in prison, did he give up on life and become bitter and sad? No, he had faith that things would get better. And so he just lived each day the best he could. He gave his gifts where he could, his gifts of being able to interpret dreams. And eventually he was raised and elevated to a status in the kingdom where he was right under the Pharaoh, overseeing the people, overseeing the food supply and people that were coming in from Egypt during a famine to get food. So he had faith. Okay, this is the kind of faith that we're talking about. Now, it's not faith that, I just believe, I just know there has to be a heaven or a God. No, that's not real faith. What I'm talking about is faith that whatever you do believe in, whatever God you do believe in, or whatever universe or theories or whatever you believe in, that those beliefs will get you through and that you're going to get better and things will improve in life. That's faith. A spring mentality is kind of like a beginner's mentality. Just having that everything's new every day. Every day is a new day. Every day is a new life, a new chance to, really get out there and achieve something. Spring mentality means that every winter there's going to be some death, but that every spring there's going to be a rejuvenation of life. And knowing that things may look dead now, but it's just because it's in a season that it's not blooming, but that doesn't mean that it's dead. It just means that it's dormant. Have a spring mentality. Things are going to come back. It's going to get better. I got dumped by my ex-girlfriend. That was death. Okay? That was a death in my life. But I have a spring mentality that one day love will bloom again in my life. And I know that it will happen. I don't know when. I don't know who. I know she's going to be way better than the last one. But I do know that one day a seed will sprout from the ground. And I will love again in a romantic way. And that's spring mentality. And hope. Hope is never saying never. Okay? There's a quote in the Bible that says, I pitch my tent in the land of hope. And that's what I do. I always dwell within hope. That it doesn't matter how bad it looks, it can always get better, and it's going to. And then renewal mentality is kind of the same thing as spring mentality. Things always rejuvenate. Things always come back in cycles. Things always get better. You just have to wait for your season. And then the last things that I'm going to talk about for regeneration are acceptance. Accept that life's never going to be the way you exactly wanted it, or the way you planned it, or the way you thought it would be. And in fact, for me, it's never been anything that I thought it would be. Okay, I planned it ahead in my life ahead in my mind when I was 10 years old. I said, I'm going to go to college, and I'm going to get a good job, and I'm going to get married to my college sweetheart, and we're going to have a white picket fence and 2 kids and blah 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 by the age of 25. And guess what? I'm 29 and I have none of that. None of it right now. Okay? And I did go to college, but my college sweetheart dumped me in college. So I never got to get married. I tried to get a house with the girl that I met after college. The house didn't go through. The girl dumped me. Became single again. Okay, so now I'm 29 and unmarried, never been married, don't have a house of my own, still don't have a high-paying job that can even pay for a house of my own. I'm still working, $13 an hour labor jobs, even after having a master's degree. I'm working in the marijuana industry after being a teacher, which is something I never thought would happen. So nothing in my life has gone according to plan. And yet, I accept it. I accept that my journey is my journey. And it's not going to be the way I planned it. It's not going to be the way my mom planned it or anybody else planned it. Because I accept that things just go the way they go. They flow the way they flow. The cookie crumbles the way it will. Alright? And that's acceptance. Accept things that you cannot change. And have the courage to change the things that you can. And so that's what I do in life now. I just accept it. And that's what transcendence is. Transcendence is basically elevating above the physical world. Okay? It's evolution of the spirit. It's shedding of your karma. It's raising your vibration. Transcendence. Okay? It's what the ascended masters did. Alright, speaking of things not going according to plan, my camera died in the middle of my video, so that's another thing I had to accept and transmute and not get upset about or annoyed. So what I did was I just allowed it to happen, went and found the cord and plugged in the camera and hoped that the video that I just made was still there, and it was. So let's just finish the video, which I'm going to finish it now pretty quickly because I was almost done anyways. So, transcendence, that's what the Ascended Masters did, was they, through mental, spiritual, and physical work, in probably many lifetimes, of being reincarnated over and over as humans, they started to ascend in higher spiritual levels until eventually they were masters. And they no longer had to be reborn if they so chose not to. According to the Ethereal Society, Ascended Masters are basically, some of them are beings that were humans, but some weren't. Some were never human. Some just were, they were always just higher level beings. But Ascended Masters basically are beings that chose to stay on Earth instead of going to another planet where there's higher level vibrations already for them to live. They decided to stay on Earth and help to raise the vibrations of mankind, so that one day Mother Earth, Gaia Goddess, can ascend and most humans can go with her, and they won't be basically killed off and then reincarnated onto another lower level planet. So that's what their job is, or their mission or their goal is, to help mankind raise their vibration. And as somebody that is a student of these teachings, I also want to help raise mankind's vibration, and so that's why I made this video. And that's why I think that part of me back then, I wasn't even aware of it, was making this lesson for these students, was because I want to help to raise the vibration of mankind, to help our species to elevate, so that we can one day live on a planet that is like a paradise, that's not filled with famine and war and hate and greed and racism and ego, and that one day we can live in a kind of happy place where things go right and people love each other, and where there's cooperation, something even better than Star Trek, hopefully, a paradise. And I believe that's possible for humans, but we have to help each other out. We have to collectively, together, raise our consciousness. And that only happens when we help each other. It doesn't happen when one person does it and then floats away off into the paradise. No. It's when one person raises their level, they help somebody else raise theirs. And I love that new Lizzo song, that Juice song, because in that song she goes, "When I'm shining, everybody gonna shine." And she's talking about basically when she's shining, it's gonna radiate off everybody else and they're gonna be shining. Okay? Because smiles are contagious, love is contagious, compassion is contagious. And that's what I hope that you get out of these videos from Be Still and Know, and from this video on how to become a master, is that you learn that if you choose, because it's a choice, if you choose to put out a positive energy into the world, it can literally raise everybody around you and change this world and transmute this world into something greater, into something that it was meant to be, which is, heaven on earth. So, thank you again for joining me. I know I talked your ear off today, and I know there's a lot of concepts that I went over today that you might not be familiar with, or maybe you've heard a few of them but you're still confused. Feel free to Google any of the things that I've talked about. I'm also going to post a link on the video description for the Etheria Society and for the Wikipedia page on Ascended Masters so that you can read a little bit more about it. But again, thank you for joining me. Remember that it doesn't matter what comes your way, it's going to be a great day. And that's transmutation, by the way, my catchphrase. No matter what comes your way, it's going to be a great day. You're transmuting whatever situation befalls your life into a great day. Okay? It doesn't matter if you had a death in the family that day. You know, you can transmute that energy. Grieve, have sorrow, but then transmute it into love, celebration. Celebrate that person's life. You know, love them, remember them, love on your family. Transmute negative energies of anger into love. You know, when someone gets mad, say, hey man, I understand. I see that you're upset. Don't invalidate their feelings, but also realize, say, hey man, I see you're upset. Would you like to talk about it, or maybe go get ice cream or coffee or something and talk about it? And you know, just listening to someone, hearing them out, can start to transmute their energy as well. So once you learn these mental techniques for yourself, you'll be able to start to do it with other people as well. That's why I was an effective teacher in my classroom, because I learned how to transmute kids' energies and their emotions and help them to change them into something that's more productive. And most of the time I could always get a student that was kind of upset to be less upset. And so you can do that too. So again, for the 4th time, thanks for joining me today. I'm Be Still and Know. I'm Adam. And remember, no matter what comes your way, it's going to be a great day, baby.